Okay, so we're going to get on with the video here. It's like, what is it, December 11th of 2022. What, I'm just kind of getting on with my day, right? It's 9:30 in the morning here, and I'm slowly but surely picking away at my little messed up porch that's right in the middle of my kitchen. Right? So I can, at some point in the near future, take these beautiful jars and whatnot downstairs, but I can't really do that when my son's down there because, it interferes with his space or whatever it is. And anyway, Lady P sent me a message. I think it was on my last video. Let me double check that. Hold on. I'll do a little video with Amari in his hospital. Okay, you see, first of all, this is pathetic. All right, I just went to the computer. It was my last video with, in the sewing room. Amari had another seizure, which happened yesterday. Lady P, and this is not the first time YouTube has done this, people. Like, I don't get it, okay? She made, a fairly big post. She was critiquing me, okay? And told me to get off basically my pity party, right? And that I needed to be more positive. And through that action alone, my life will change. That's the gist of what I got, basically, in her message. And that somehow I misconstrued what Malcolm X's sister was saying in regards to whatever she's making reference to, because she's not being specific, right? In terms of perhaps changing my behavior 22 years later, okay? So anyway, let's get it clear. YouTube has censored that comment. So technically I should copy and paste it and post it up with my response. As to why they would do that, I don't know, people. Because whatever she's saying isn't going to change what I'm up against in my world, okay? Yesterday, listen. Squash, squash, squash. I want to say the word listen. Woo. I'm not trying to catch on with no catchy phrase here. But anyway, I never even got a chance, people, to put any drops in my eyes yesterday because of what happened. Okay? I was at the hospital for hours and hours and hours, and then by the time I got home with Amari, it wasn't even on my mind, and I don't know. I think I did put him in at 8, right? And then finally at 2 in the morning or whatever it was, go to sleep, right? For a little while. So I put the 1 drop in. That's the once a day that preferably they want me to put it in when I go to sleep. And then I did put 1 in at 8 because by the time I get to go see the eye specialist, I want to give it a fair shake. So I'm trying to stay on a schedule, even though I went all day yesterday with nothing because of what happened to Amari. Okay, so right now my nerves are frazzled, okay? Like literally frazzled. Because the reception that I'm getting from these extensions of the healthcare system, you know, based on Lady P's, now she can call me up and we can talk about it on the phone, but technically I'm kind of drained and I'm really not up for the debate, but then I don't also want to close the door on the debate either, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I don't want her to think that I'm being stubborn and it's got to be my way or no way kind of thing, you know. And you know, I mean, like if YouTube is going to censor the comments again, you know, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? Because, you know, I mean, like, what does Lady P gain from I don't want to say criticizing me, but critiquing me and you know, giving me advice in the way that she's giving the advice in the way that she feels that I should receive it, right? She's my friend. So I'm not going to say, well, you know, you're picking on me and, you know, woe is me. And even though she's saying that I need to get up off my pity party. Okay, well, it's been pretty freaking hard to get off a freaking pity party when, you know, I mean, like, I tell the story. That's basically what it is, okay? Like, seriously, what happened yesterday was uncalled for, people. I was in shock. Like, this is what people don't understand. You know, I'm in my sewing room, not even 3 feet away from Amari. You know, and I was just thinking the other day, you know, we've gotten this far without a seizure. You know, like, but touch wood, because you're not out of the woods yet, kind of thing, right? You know what I'm saying? And I was scared for the next one, which just happened. Okay, not that I was wishing for it to happen, but I was scared that it would happen, people. Okay? Because of his situation. And then, you know, with the last time he went in, right? You know, I mean, I've had time to think about it, people. And, like, they were stalling for time. I don't care what anybody says. They took him, you know, they caused that big ruckus. They called, MCFD on me, right? By the time I get to, Tisha was there, right? She couldn't find him when she got there. She had to wait for over a half an hour before they even showed up and took her to where he was, right? You know what I'm saying? And she said, well, he's not here, right? And I'm like, well, he should be, because, you know, right? So she's standing around waiting for him. And then finally, you know, I guess he showed up in the ambulance. I don't know what they were doing, but anyway, they took her to the room. So it's not like, and on that day, you know, I would have had to bring Andre with me. And so anyway, it's not like I was being, and they didn't even want me in that freaking vehicle. That guy was he was on a pissing contest with me, with Shmei, right? Right? And just whatever, okay? Like, just you don't know, right? And so anyway, right? I'm in the sewing room. I do that little video. It's nice and calm and quiet. You know, I'm relieved that so far things have been going good. You know, I'm slightly a little on guard, right? Because I don't trust the process, people. You know, I don't, right? You know what I mean? And I know the consequences when something freaking goes wrong. So I have to brace myself constantly. It's not like you're aware of it, but in the back of your mind, you know, as soon as something goes wrong, you have to brace yourself to be attacked. And if you go into my videos, that's all you freaking see ever since Uncle John was medically kidnapped. Well, that's not true. It started when Sierra got pregnant, really. That's when the circling really started. But it started even before then, people. It started in 2003 when they cut me off illegally off of social assistance under legislation that wasn't even in effect and didn't even apply to me. And I had 5 dependent children, all under the ages of 18, with Tisha like 2.5, 3 years old. And they threw me out in the streets in the middle of freaking winter with nothing. That is not a pity party. That is a pattern. And that pattern continues and it's getting worse. And if there is a pity party, it's only because the pattern continues. You think I like talking about this shit after I practically had a heart attack myself yesterday, pleading to God for Amari to not die in my arms? I shook him. Like this. Because instinctively, I wanted to keep his heart beating while I waited for the rescuers, the paramedics. Okay, I'm thinking about that from then to now, even this morning. I'm like, because you see, when Shimei was in that dream, she was shaking. And I was just holding her. And it was like, when Amari, because when they go completely, well, their eyes are open. They look dead. Literally. They look dead. You can barely hear their breath. They're completely limp. They don't respond. Okay? That has got to be one of the most frightening experiences in life. There is no pity party around that. Okay? That is the reality of it. And there is sure to hell is no pity party around individuals showing up in paramedic uniforms purporting to say, we're here to help you, but yet are plotting and scheming how to disenfranchise you so that they can remove Amari from the house and place him into a monster home with the foster caregiver under an emergency whatever apprehension, so that that instant $3,000 check plus, which is tax-free because that's the way the government's arranged it for foster care parents, they could be making $200,000 a year, like pay taxes through that job. But if they get a foster child coming in at $3,000, they don't pay taxes on it, people. It's free money. And we all know child trafficking exists, and usually how it's perpetrated. But do you honestly think I'm standing here shaking Amari thinking that the child traffickers are going to show up at my door and try and sabotage me so they can steal Amari and place him someplace else so one of their friends can get fucking rich off him as the doctors are experimenting on him and nothing stops the whole process because that's just law? That's just law. Right? No. No. I'm like, don't die on me, Amari. Come on. Don't die on me, Amari. Please don't. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Okay? Take him outside. It's a little chilly, right? Right? Brain, just to, so that his senses are not completely devolve of just disappearing. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know? And I'm waiting and, you know? Right? And now my son is up here. Okay? Right? Andre's running around. Right? Because I'm calling out for help. I'm calling out for help. Marcaine, Andre, Marcaine. Okay. Marcaine's on the phone. What do we do? And, you know, and they're like, you know, just lay him down. Well, they just wanted him just to be whatever on his side and just wait for the paramedics to come. But you see, the paramedics, they're not coming to the house to help you with the kid or the adult or whoever is injured, because we've had paramedics come in a non-emergency sense for Uncle John, and look what happened to Uncle John. He disappeared into the medical system and was medically kidnapped. So, and that was facilitated through the paramedics, although I don't think those paramedics had that in mind for Uncle John. Those were the social workers and the Eleanors and those kind of things. But of course, there's no pity party there. No, it's okay. Let me just come into your house and steal your dad. Okay? And then say, you can never see him again. No, fuck off. No. Don't go crying to nobody, because nobody's gonna give a shit. No. We can do what we want. Anyway, stay focused. And they're saying, like, don't shake him. My son's screaming, don't shake him, don't shake him. So I'm like, oh, okay. Right? I'm trying not to. But he's not responding. He's completely limp. And they're asking my son if he's breathing. Well, how the hell can I hear? I'd have to bring him right up to my chest because his breath is so low, right? That's why I'm like this. I'm not like this, people. I'm just like Amari, because I go back to that dream with Shimei. Right? We'll get through it together, Amari. Okay? Amari wasn't shaking, but Shimei was. I just reversed it. Okay? Just hang on, Amari. The paramedics, the good guys, right? The superheroes are coming to rescue you, Amari. Okay? There is no fucking pity party. When do I have time to be feeling sorry for myself, people? You tell me, tell me, tell me. I'm trying to have a heart of fucking steel here. I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to be brave. I'm trying not to have a fucking breakdown. I'm trying to be fair with these individuals that walk to my house with their suits on. I don't care what the fuck their stupid suit is. And I'm trying to treat them like a freaking fucking individual. But you can't. You see? That is the thing. You can't. Because they lurk behind your back, they conspire, they connive, they plot, and they fucking scheme because they come in with a different freaking agenda. And there is no pity party around that. That is the truth. As if it's not hard enough. Well, you want to creep into my house looking to see? What did you fucking see? You seen amaranth in a fucking jar. I'm so mad I'd like to go boom. But I'm not wasteful. And because I'm not wasteful, they resent it. See, this is why I don't want to have the debate, Peggy. I gave up my freaking life for my bloody kids. I don't appreciate my son running around screaming at me. Well, I'm on the verge of having my own freaking heart attack because he can't control his emotions because of his fear or whatever. And I'm just a convenient fucking doormat to take his frustrations out on. I didn't tell that part now, did I? But I do talk about coming in here and pillaging my shit, throwing out what he doesn't want, and taking what he wants, and then what? Maybe just putting me off somewhere and just to hell with you? You don't think that fucking nags at me? But that's our generation. And I'm not the first parent to go through that. The difference between those parents and me is I talk about it. Like, for example, I have to hide this. Do you know what this is? I have to hide it from my fucking son. Okay? Because he doesn't value the things that I value. I'm just giving you an example here. This was in the garage. Because it got tossed out of the basement. And what it is, and I got a really bad headache today too, because of those eye drops. Do you see that? Brown paper bags. Now, why would I need so many brown paper bags? Well, I don't know. Maybe because I do food prep. And sometimes I like to vacuum seal. But before I put things in just a plastic and then vacuum seal, I like to paper bag them up. Because one, it protects the food. You know, it insulates them from light. Not that they would be in light. But it also protects the bag from being punctured, depending on what you're vacuum sealing. Okay, do I have money to go off and buy more bags? No, I don't. And if I have them, why should I have to go buy more bags when I need them? It's not something that I don't use. I just don't need it today. If I was vacuum sealing this stuff in a plastic bag, before I would do that, I might consider putting it in this bag and then in the plastic bag, so that when I'm vacuum sealing, all the fine particles don't go into the vacuum sealer. But you see, you'd have to do stuff like that before you'd even know what to do, how it would react, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this out in the garage. Just with the rest of the garbage, with the rest of the fucking junk, with the rest of the whatever. And I'm like, I'm still bringing shit in, trying to figure out where I'm going to fucking put it, because, right? And I'm like, okay, well, take what's most important. This is the most important. I have this bag upstairs that goes with the vacuum sealer stuff, because you kind of have to keep things organized, know where it is when you need it. So this, right, because I can't afford to go off and buy more. I don't need to buy more. I shouldn't have to be forced to buy more. I know I'm going blind. I know it's probably unimportant. I'll never use it again. But I might get lucky. I might be able to see next year, and I might be doing a video vacuum sealing something. It's the point that my son stresses me out over it, people. It's unnecessary. Okay? And yeah, sometimes I talk about stuff like that. Okay? Because I know I'm not the only one going through life with these issues with these young people that think they know everything and that they're freaking, I don't know what they think they are, but right? You can coddle your children for only so long. You can bend over backwards and be their dish maid for only so long. You can only give for only so long. You can only try and be a positive role model, and however you do that, right, for only so long, in terms of, whatever it is, okay? But if they're going to abuse you, disrespect you, or whatever, gaslight you — my son likes to gaslight me a lot. Just using my son as an example. Then, you're either going to be a sucker to it, and for me, it will never change. I'm locked into my miserable life. I'm sorry, Peggy. Yeah, I have a miserable life. I've had a miserable freaking life for a long time. No, I'm not having a pity party, because if I was having a pity party, I would be on my couch sleeping my life away, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out how I can protect my grandson from a corrupt freaking government where I can't leave the bloody province to get the hell away from them. Because clearly there's something wrong. Okay? What I seen yesterday with just the way they're like hostile. They act like hostile cops. They got that cop stance, and just, and they kept asking me the same question over and over again, and they were importing a different time when I was giving them a different time, and they weren't satisfied with what I was saying, and then they kind of blew it off like I wasn't even the caregiver, and they kept asking, well, who looks after him the most? And I'm like, they were ignoring me, but at the same time, they were leading me down the garden freaking path. Like I couldn't figure it out. And I'm trying to be neutral, people. I am so trying to be neutral, because I know I'm walking into a freaking minefield. I know I've got all these eyes on me. I know what they want. They want Amari because he represents big dollars for their freaking friends. They're building their case. You know how they do that. Oh. And then, well, we should have took him a long time ago. So we're going to judge everybody from this point forward because something happened here when, we've got this on file, this on file, this on file, this on file, this on file. What? You got it that you couldn't come into my house? That's why you called the fucking social worker? That's why they called the CPS on me the first time. And they were being coy about it, people. When that guy at the hospital called Tisha out to talk behind my back. As that social worker that was in the hospital the first time with Amari was running around taking fucking notes. Only this time, they didn't drug him up and stall for time. So they could call in the big gun social worker, Greta, to come in here and look around so she could go back to the hospital over 24 hours and say, okay, yeah, you can cut down on his medication now and send him home because we're not going to take him. They're like being cagey with me. And I'm not supposed to feel threatened by that? I'm not having a pity party, people. I'm trying to stand my ground. I'm trying to stay strong for Amari. I'm trying to stay strong for my family. Okay? No family is perfect. Right? My family is already damaged. I've told you that. I've explained why. Right? Does that mean I love them less? Of course not. But I understand it. Can I reverse it? No. A lot of it I can't, people, because once a fucking egg is broken, you can't piece it back together. Okay? I don't know what you do with broken eggshells other than dry them out and you can eat them and get extra calcium in your body, or you can feed them to your plants. Throw them into compost. And they're still valuable. So it's not like there's no value in it, but it's not the whole egg anymore. Right? Oh. So anyway, like that, whatever, and they were like, I don't know. They were antagonizing me in a nice kind of way. They were sizing me up. Clearly they were fucking following me around without me knowing about it. Because I came in here, went in there, got my wallet, came out this way, right? And that paramedic was standing right there. Why? They had Amari. They had Amari in the ambulance. Because she came in behind me without me knowing about it and just started looking around so she could go back and report so that they can put it on the file to build that case. So that they can eventually get what they want. Not do their job, but just get what they want. There's a difference between doing your job and getting what you want. Putting Shimei on a gurney, if she's alive, hooked up to an IV, is doing your job. Putting Shimei's body in a hammock with a perfusion machine being hidden by the hammock with 6 men carrying her out in that freaking hammock is getting what they want. There is a big difference. And I'm supposed to be positive. Be happy that she got no justice so it can happen to somebody else. Yeah, okay. See, this is why I don't want to debate, Peggy. But I'm opening up the debate. Because I respect you and I love you. And your voice counts. And I'm sorry I'm a fucking disappointment for you. Not that I think I am, and I'm not saying that's what you are saying I am, but anyway, I know, I'm a little neurotic. Oh, I still got a headache. I had to take Tylenol yesterday. I'm going to have to take 2 Tylenol today. I don't like to take a lot of Tylenol because it's not good. Well, they're not Tylenol, they're antihistamine or whatever they're called, because it's not good for your nerves, right? But I don't take them very often. But definitely, I got some kind of freaking headache. I'm feeling kind of sick today, people. Okay, remember I told you when all this stuff comes, the organic, whatever it is, in these big ass bags, I saved them. My son doesn't understand why I save them. But I do. Maybe one day we'll use them for crafts. maybe one day the world will fall apart around us, and somebody will come to my house and will need something, and I'll be like, okay, I can give you this, this, and this, but here's a nice, good, sturdy, strong bag. Let's fill it up. Doesn't cost me anything, people. Or maybe the hydro will go out and we need it for the fireplace to keep warm. Who knows? All I know is it doesn't deserve to be in the garage thrown out in the freaking garbage. But that's the shit that happens. And then I get called a hoarder because I have bags in a bag. Point is, it's double layered and it's really thick. If you have to go to the store and buy them, you're looking at a lot of money. I could use them for composting if I wanted to, for crying out loud. I could fill them up with freaking something in the yard and freaking leave it on the road and they can run off with it. Or maybe I'll sell it $2 a bag. Get my money's worth for the bag. I don't know. Or I can simply just take this plastic bag, throw it into the recycling bin, being that these professionals don't want you to have anything because they're too busy scooping up on the profit margin as they recycle paper. They can hoard paper and make money and recycle paper, and when you need a bag, you have to go to the store and go buy the bag, because if you save the bag in case you need it, then it becomes the problem, right? That's what we're up against, right? Maybe if my government didn't stress me so much out about looming food shortages and famine, I wouldn't have so many freaking bags. But with these bags came food. So no regrets. Okay? And it's not about being in a pity fucking party here. It's about trying to protect my family. Whether they like me or not, it doesn't matter, because sometimes kids just don't like their parents. That's a given. But then it also doesn't mean that they don't love them, because they do. They just grow up and don't necessarily know how to show it to you, right? Especially if they've had their cortisol going on for freaking years with egg after egg after egg after egg being freaking cracked. Obviously, I got really stressed out yesterday. You can clearly see that now, can't you? It's not a good feeling holding your grandson, wondering if he's going to die in your arms. And you're just like, don't die, don't die. Come on, don't die, come on. The superheroes are coming. Don't die. They'll rescue you. Don't worry. We went through this once before. We'll get through it again. I'm with you, Amari. Don't die. Don't die. Okay? Okay? There. This is what gets me into trouble. And just in case it ends up in the garbage, for what it's worth, I suppose you could say I got what was most important for the vacuum sealer. Because some things you just have to let go in life. And when they come crying to me for a fucking bag, don't talk to me about nothing. Go away, get out of here. Go find your own damn bag. Okay. So I don't know what kind of debate this is. I don't even know how to debate it. All I know is that when I go, I don't want to come back. So, we're going to end it for now. I'm going to calm down. I should take 2 Tylenol because I really want to just get everything ready to go downstairs. Finish vacuum sealing. I have to get up underneath Amari's cupboard. For now, I'm just going to vacuum seal any jars that need to be vacuum sealed because it just helps to preserve the food, right? Because I'm not cooking just yet. I can't cook until I clear out more, right? And I'm going to bring out, just to show you, not because I'm bragging, God forbid, it has nothing to do with that. It's to inspire you to go off and buy your own bags of shit. So I'm going to take what's in those boxes, I'm going to stack them up here nicely on the counter, one after another, and you're going to see. And you're going to be, oh wow, that makes sense. I think I want to do that for myself. Yeah. And you're going to budget it in, okay? That's why I show you. So that you can budget it into your own food security. This time, though, I'm going to try something. Well, I'm trying to calm down here. Okay, I'm really... Oh, yeah, and I got to get onto these mulberries, so I'm going to have to grind up mulberries and get them onto these dehydrating trays that are sitting over there that got me in trouble with the paramedic that was spying on me. The superhero that came into my house behind my back and was spying on me. Okay, and then wants to be... Ah, yes, you're my master. Yes, yes, you're the savior. You're the superhero. Yeah, we know. Do you know how... Okay, you're right, Peggy. I shouldn't complain about those, what do you call those, dehydrating trays, even though they got me into trouble yesterday. I know I shouldn't feel sorry for myself for having dehydrating trays right there, even though it got me into trouble yesterday. I'm supposed to be happy that they're there, right? You know, just ignore some shit. Is that what you're telling me to do? Just don't talk about dehydrating trays that get you into trouble with the law, because those paramedics were acting like paramedics. They were more like acting like hostile cops. Okay, for whatever fucking reason, I don't know. So, I'm going to turn this off. I'm not going to upload it just yet. I'm going to get some stuff done so something can be said that it was accomplished in a positive note. Right? Because that's all I've ever tried to do. Right? Look at my videos. If it wasn't trying to be positive, there would be no videos from 2009 onward. Okay? I'm just the messenger. I just tell the story. I live the walk, right? I walk the talk, right? My family is victimized over and over and over and over again, and that's why we got a big pile of broken fucking eggs over there, and we don't know what to do with it other than maybe Mum might come me and, you know, salvage them and, you know, dry them and grind them up and save them for a rainy day, because if the shit really hit the fan, you can't eat eggshells, you know that, right? I mean, but you'd have to clean them first and make sure they were really nice and dry and grounded up, and that's where you could get calcium if there was no calcium to be found. Same thing with bones. And people do. They save their eggshells, they wash them, they dry them, they grind them up, and I guess they put them in those little gel capsules, and they take them for the calcium. Now, if that's not being positive, I don't know what is. Right? Jesus. Okay, I ain't gonna say what's on my mind right now. I am just gonna focus on what needs to be done. And, you know, when I was holding him, right? Mari, come on. You know, Mari, right? Just not like this. Just, right? You know, as if you would a baby, you know, kind of thing. Right? Come on, Amari, come on. You know, waiting for the ambulance, and it actually took quite a while. It took, I don't know, one of them recommended getting a timer or something because they're so wanting it to be in touch to the last minute. So I'm going to order some timers and put up some clocks and just whatever, right? You know, not that you're going to be looking at a clock when it's an emergency, but besides that point. When the paramedics finally showed up, right? It was first the fire truck showed up, and then the paramedics showed up. When the fire truck showed up, right? This was going on for about 5 minutes or more, okay? Before they came, you know, okay. And by the time the fire truck rolled up and put on its brakes, Amari actually heard it, people, because he responded to it. When they, you know, and put on the brakes, and you can, right? Amari went, like, you know, he definitely heard it. And not only that, but when I was up on the porch doing, you know, waiting, whatever, you know, just mother instinct. That's the only thing I can say. Or maybe being with Shemay, I don't know. And, right? And, you know, I'm like, I took my hand, right? And went in front of his eyes, and his eyes actually did follow my finger. That's not to say it brought him out of the seizure, but he didn't get deeper in it. Let's just put it that way. Right, he didn't get deeper in it. So, I don't know. I just wanted to say that. Right. And there's another thing. If I'm expected just to be positive all the time, to which, don't ever accuse me of not being fucking positive for most of my life. Okay? You know what I'm saying? But if that's what I'm expected to do, for everything that I've been through with my family, or even before they were born, or whatever, and I'm just supposed to be some nymph, happy nymph, you know, just a happy little nymph. That's what I am. Just a happy little nymph. And I'm not mocking you, Peggy. Okay? I'm bringing the debate out to the open here, okay? Like, if that was the case, why the hell would I do any videos? I'd have to stop videos. Because in my world, that's not the reality. So what? Better to be wallowing in that self-pity and silence? Yeah, okay. They only wish you would do that. Go into my videos. I've said that before. Why do you think I'm so outspoken about it? Amaranth, you can vacuum seal pretty good with one of these things. But when it gets into fine powder, it kind of becomes a problem. Some people try and put filters to prevent the powder from getting up and going into the machine, but it doesn't really work. Remember what I said. If you're vacuum sealing and you don't want your jar to pop, don't release the pressure on the vacuum sealer. Just take the hose, pull it off, take off your lid gently, and I'd say probably 90% of the time, your jar will seal. If you break the pressure in the actual vacuum sealer itself, I don't know, it breaks the pressure on the lid and it doesn't work. Okay, just remember that. Oh yeah, we have a Tylenol shortage out here. Tisha confirmed it. She said she can't find no Tylenol anywhere. And the hospital, because when Amari was there, because they blanketed him up and everything, right? And, you know, he got that sedation and whatever. And his temperature went up a little bit, right? For whatever reason. So they wanted to give him Tylenol. She goes, oh, but then she comes back and says, well I'm going to give him Advil. Will that be okay? And I'm like, well, or something like that. I said, yeah, well, if that's what you think, that's fine with me, right? And, but it turns out that there's no Tylenol. That's why. She didn't say, we don't have no Tylenol in the hospital. She just came back and said, well, we're going to give him this. So we have a Tylenol shortage in British Columbia, Canada, for children. That's interesting. Tisha says she can't find them anywhere in the grocery stores, nothing. I haven't personally looked for a long time because, one, Amari doesn't really get ever sick. And two, I know I've got something in my bedroom. Now, whether I have a brand new bottle of children's Tylenol, because I do remember, last year I went off to the pharmacy and, you know, like over the counter and bought a little this and bought a little that and bought some rubbing alcohol and just whatever, but I'd have to go find it. Yeah, people, like, I don't know. I don't know what you want from me, Peggy. You phone me up, you tell me to take down my video, and then if I don't do that, then you tell me to change the title, because for some reason you seem to think that a mob of black people are going to come after me from the United States of America, as if any black people really ever wanted to help me in the United States of America, except for one or two that are completely helpless to do anything because they stand alone and by themselves with nobody standing beside them, right? Right, let's be realistic here, okay? And it's not like I'm not already in that situation here in British Columbia, Canada, so right? And I'm like, but you know, Peggy, what would happen if I went to your house or called you up on the phone or whatever and just started telling you to do this, right? Because I care about you and or whatever the reason is. I mean, would you do it? If you felt, right, that it was important to stand your ground, right? Right? You know? Somebody going to come into your kitchen and say, well, you know, I don't like your kitchen. I think you need to change this and, you know, do that and throw that out, you know, throw out those bags. And, you know, matter of fact, why don't you just throw out that vacuum sealer? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's pointless and I don't know why you need it. So just chuck it out. You'll have more space, right? Save yourself the stress. Would you take that advice? No, you wouldn't. Unless, of course, you felt that you didn't need it. Right? I'm beyond trying to prove things. I'm just finishing with the story. That's it. Right? Right? And for anyone to think that I like this clutter, you know, like, it's almost like you're freaking retarded. Seriously. Because, you know, if my daughters were alive and healthy, first of all, Andre wouldn't be living with me. That'd be less stress for me. Wouldn't have to worry about cleaning up his dishes and things that he scatters around the house. And he's now starting to learn how to do his own laundry. But if his mother was around, that would have happened. If Shmay was around, that would have happened. Because I'm not superhuman. I'm not, you know, I'm not super mom here. I'm not super grandma. I can't be everywhere with a million arms, right? So now his uncle's stepping up to the plate, which is good, right? You know what I'm saying? So, right? So, you know, and in terms of toys that are in my house, well, you know, I mean, it would be a travesty to just get rid of them so I wouldn't be accused of being a hoarder. Because in light of that, I do babysit other people's kids. I babysit Sierra's kids, who happen to be my grandkids. And I babysit Ria's kids, who just happen to be kids. Little kids at that, right? You know what I'm saying? So those toys, you know, after all these years have remained in my house and have proven to be worthy and of good use, okay? But they take up space and it makes me look like there's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? All right? And in terms of, you know, books. Well, that one I always say I kind of went overboard with it. But on the other hand, I always thought that my children would disperse the books between themselves and appreciate the knowledge that came with it, right? But of course, not everybody likes to read, right? Some people just take Google for granted. Shemay did promise me that when I died, she'd take each and every book because she valued books. And as for my son, well, you know, he's okay with GPS and he wouldn't be so interested in it, right? Just because, although I could see him going through them because he is a book lover. I mean, you are what you are, right? You can't change the stripes, right? When you were born with them, and he's a bookworm, so I'm sure there'd be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, maybe a couple of boxes full of books that he would keep for himself. But outside of that, people, and as for my fabric and my sewing and stuff, if I didn't put 11 years into this yard, it would have been a whole different story, and I wouldn't be sitting on tens of thousands of dollars worth of fucking fabric right now, as people are accusing me of being a dipshit. Okay, is that what you don't like to hear? Me putting myself down, Peggy? But you see, that's the reality of the world today, and I'm not the only one that's being shit on all the time by people that walk through their door and don't even tell you that they're coming in. It's bad enough I got people coming into my door after they steal my freaking potatoes and stealing my shit right there in the freaking hall where I have to keep my fucking door locked all the time. Now I've got strange paramedics showing up as superheroes, creeping in, following behind me so that they can become what? What is the opposite of a superhero? A villain? That's the opposite of a superhero. And no, there was no superheroes that showed up at my house. They were villains. And I'm going to tell that story. Oh my God. I asked for help to take this down because I'm kind of getting old and frail. You know, my bones are getting weak. I don't have big bones, okay? My wrist probably only measures out, oh, what is that? Less than 5 inches around, 4 inches. You do the math on how much I can carry. But I've been asking Marina to help me. She doesn't fully understand what food prepping represents because she's young, right? And she thinks the government will take care of society and there will always be food. Let me check on Amari. You got quiet. What are you doing? Don't you scare your Nana. Here's that bottle. Huh? Did you drink it all? Yeah, you did. And we know I live in fear with that heart of steel every day just by watching my videos because I'm always in mid-sentence and then go checking on Amari, hoping for the best, but prepared for the worst. And even then, when you think everything is fine, it blindsides you. So yeah, I asked her to help carry this stuff down, right? And like break up the weight, but she's younger. She's small like me, but she's younger, so she's stronger because she's younger, right? Oh no, that's okay. And she just, and, you know, and I know the wheels in her brain are like going in circles. Like she doesn't quite fully understand the bigger picture as to why we do things like this. And being that she's so young, you know, she's so young, she still has that trust that there will be a future and there will always be food and, you know, the economy will grow and there will always be jobs and our governments are just and, you know, and just, right? But then she's not completely naive either, so that's when I say, when she takes this down, right? I can see the wheels turning, right? In other words, she may not fully 100% understand it or agree with it, but then there's a part of her mind that's probably like, at least I don't have to worry if it gets real bad, because I'm sure because, I ask her, do you know about this? She doesn't necessarily, she's not on that global page, because she's too busy just trying to, work and have a healthy relationship with Marcane and, establish her life, right? She doesn't want to think about famine and starvation and the whole 9 yards. FEMA camps and, COVID camps, and she don't want to think about any of that stuff, right? That's why they got me. So, so I'm just getting everything ready. Now, because I put these types of jars, I think I can't see. Here we go, here's some glasses. It kind of looks like it's the mulberry. This is the mulberry with the coconut sugar. So I got to get them all ready to go downstairs. I'm going to get under Mari's and pull out, and because I've got another 26 pounds. So those jars down there technically can go downstairs, right? And then, yeah. So I've told you before, I don't necessarily like to use decadents. Where are you? I should have another one of these. But anyway, I have them, right? And I think in a couple videos back, I did put a couple of these in those jars underneath. So, because I'm trying, to make the kitchen a little more proficient when it comes time to work on those drinks, get into the sourdough bread, whether it's rye bread, whole wheat, or white, whatever, and whatnot, right? Because it's not going to be just drinks either, too, people. I'm going to try and work on Amari's side dish, too, with, special little meals that compensate for maybe what he's not getting in the drink. In other words, you make the initial drink, 1 or 2 different kinds, but, he's still going to need that extra protein that can come from salmon and, and animals, right? Like beef, chicken, that kind of stuff, right? Animal proteins, right? So that would be like with mashed potatoes or whatever, but the drink itself might have just the collagen or the bone broth, which wouldn't be nearly enough protein. Okay. As I get more, right, this stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to see, right, then we'll go to the next stage, and we'll get more involved with putting whatever together. And, we'll try and calculate calories and the approximate amount of this and that and blah. Try and factor in how it affects the blood sugar. For me, in my case, it's to prevent the onset of any kind of diabetes in Amari. Okay, that's my mission. Whereas for other people, it might be to control diabetes, if not reverse the diabetes. Because I've heard that you can do that through diet, depending on the type of diabetes. So that's a threefold kind of why we're doing it. And in light of what just happened with the seizure, I'm going to be pulling out some medical books as things get more put away. So at some point, probably in the next, we'll just say 5 to 6 months, because, I got a lot of work to do, and I do it all basically by myself, right? I'm going to have a stack of medical books that we're going to go through, and we're going to look up seizures and that type of thing, so that we get a better understanding of what they are and how they happen, and versus just relying on healthcare staff when you go to a hospital to receive that information. And then see if there's anything that, as a food group, which might help to remove some of the trigger, right? Triggers. Something's triggering it. Could be food. I don't know. Right? So that's kind of what I want to do eventually. And then eventually I kind of want to make it into more of an open forum with my friends. Right? If they're still my friends. Just teasing you, Peggy. Don't take anything personal, okay? This is just YouTube, all right? One day, poof, I'll be gone and none of it will matter because everything will just stay behind and that will be it. All right? And the same is true for you. So we just got to, just kind of keep a level eye on things here. So, but yeah, no, after whatever, like I'd like to just invite the group, our group, to do a live stream, whether, whether somebody is on live with me, how they have two people doing live, or whether or whatever, so that, we can work on it together as a group to share knowledge and build on a good program. Because what happens if the government runs out of these drinks, people? I'm not saying they will. If they're running out of freaking Tylenol, and they're not even wanting to tell you in the hospital that they don't have Tylenol for children, and if you go out to the pharmacies or Safeway or wherever out here, you're not going to find any Tylenol. Well, who's to say they're not going to run out of these drinks? Right? And then what? I'll be even at more risk for the villains to be circling because I'm not giving him enough calories. Right? Or maybe people just want to not rely on it and just try and create their own product like I'm doing, right? We have to kind of show the way, right? I don't plan on getting rich off of this. Oh, it's a secret recipe. You have to pay me for it. No, that's not my mission here. My mission is to help people, okay? But it starts with my grandson first, right? And if it helps others along the way, like people like Tiffany Draper, right, that has passed away because of diabetes, well, more reason to do it, and more reason to invite people that have different kinds of experiences, different kinds of education, different kinds of ideas, right? In order to get something even better, because enough minds put their mind to it to make it better. Okay, so, that's what I like to see happen over the 6 months. But I'm on that Charlie watch, people. I can't guarantee it. Okay. So, now, what I should do, because I'm getting everything ready to take downstairs. Whether I have to take it downstairs by myself or whether I get help remains to be seen. Okay. I know, that's negative, that's a pity party, but that's reality and it pisses me off because I'm getting kind of tired and old and I would appreciate just even a little bit of help carrying this stuff downstairs, right? You know what I'm saying? What a messed up video. Yeah. So I'm going to get underneath this cupboard now. I'm going to pull out what I can vacuum seal and take downstairs. I'm going to get these jars out. I did put these decadents in a couple of those jars, so it would be interesting to open them up and see if they're absorbed anything. Because if they absorbed anything, I can take those ones out and put new ones in to replace something that's ineffective now before I put them into the box. Because remember, I like to put these in their original box that they come in, that are insulated with the styrofoam and the cardboard, which helps to protect the product, and it brings the whole box, kind of the temperature itself, into a more regulated state, right? Because it can get pretty cold in Auntie Shimay's room, or wherever I put them, right? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to keep plugging along. So hold on.
It's not that much, okay?
No, just put it in your mouth. Taste it.
It's good.
What does it taste like?
It has a lot of sugar in it.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's called a mulberry. Dehydrated, that is. Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
I like it.
I like it too.